Two smaller Cratchits danced about the table in anticipation of the feast. The eldest child, Martha Cratchit, who had recently returned home from work, warmed herself by the fire.
"Whatever has got your precious father, then?" asked Mrs. Cratchit. "And your brother, Tiny Tim?"
In a moment, in came Bob Cratchit, with at least 3 feet of scarf hanging down before him, and Tiny Tim at his shoulder. Alas for Tiny Tim, he bore a little crutch and had his limbs supported by an iron frame. The 2 young Cratchits gathered up their little brother and bore him off to the wash house, where he could hear the pudding singing in the copper kettle.
"And how did little Tim behave?" Mrs. Cratchit asked.
"As good as gold and better," Mr. Cratchit replied. "Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much, and he thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me coming home that he hoped people saw him in the church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day the one who made lame beggars walk and blind men see."
Just then, Tiny Tim returned, and his sisters escorted him to his stool before the fire. And while Bob compounded some hot mixture in a jug with gin and lemons, the young Cratchits went to fetch the goose from the baker. They returned in no time, carrying their dinner in high procession. Bob said he didn't believe there ever was such a goose, eked out by applesauce and mashed potatoes. It was a sufficient dinner for the whole family. Everyone had had enough, and the youngest Cratchits were steeped in sage and onions to the eyebrows. But still, there was room for the pudding, presented by Mrs. Cratchit with much fanfare.
At last the dinner was all done. The cloth was cleared, the hearth swept, and the fire made up. Then all the Cratchit family drew around the hearth, and Bob Cratchit proposed a toast.
"A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us."
Life is full of sweet surprises. Every day's a gift. The sun comes up and I can feel it lift my spirits. Fills me up with laughter. Fills me up with song.
little Tim, Tiny Tim, he sat very close to his father's side upon his little stool. Bob held his withered little hand in his, as if he loved the child and wished to keep him by his side, and dreaded that he might be taken from him.
Spirit, Scrooge asked, tell me if Tiny Tim will live. The ghost looked thoughtful a moment. Then he said, I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, no, kind spirit. Say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here. But what of it? If he be likely to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population.
Scrooge hung his head to hear his own words quoted by the spirit, and was overcome with remorse.
Man, if you truly are a man at heart, abstain from such a wicked judgment until you have discovered just what that surplus is. Who are you to decide who shall live and who shall die?
Scrooge bent before the ghost's rebuke, and trembling cast his eyes upon the ground. But he raised them speedily on hearing his own name.
To Mr. Scrooge, said Cratchit, I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
Mrs. Cratchit protested. The founder of the feast indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It would have to be Christmas Day for me to drink the health of such a stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do. Poor fellow.
My dear, it's Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake and for the day, but not for him. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
We must move along, said the ghost. We've more yet to see.
By this time, it was getting dark and snowing pretty heavily. And as Scrooge and the spirit passed through the streets, the brightness of the roaring fires and kitchens, parlors, and all sorts of rooms